Hi, I'm Randy Hollenbeck, and this is the Music Roundtable. Today on the show, we have hip hop artist BrothaMans.
What's good? What's good, man? Thanks for having me on the show.
Blue skies and the good times, the heat waves, sunshine. Got a lifetime, you can get it right. But right now, it's blue skies, blue skies, it's blue skies, blue skies, blue skies.
I just wanted to get into some fun, easy questions to start out. What was like the first album you ever bought?
The first album that I ever bought was T Pain's Three Rings that he had dropped around Christmas a few years ago, like I want to say like 2008 or 9. And like just as a youngin, I was just like excited to buy some music for my CD player that my mom just didn't already have like laying around the house. So like I felt independent, and I was like, okay, I fuck with this. I could be a music buyer. I think I got it at Barnes and Nobles.
The first concert you attended?
The first concert that I attended was Wiz Khalifa came to Pittsburgh in what was it like 20? I think it was like 17 or 18. I think so. Yeah, I was at Burgettstown, and I think I was like during my college. I think I was like a sophomore in college for that. That was cracking for real. It was fun. Shout out to Wiz, man.
Cool, cool. Okay, I just want to dig into some history. What sparked your interest to get into music?
I'm surrounded by music in my family. First things first. Um, a bunch of musicians on my dad's side. My mom and my aunt Kim, they do musical theater and they direct. My mom's Cheryl Walker. Um, I was always drawn to instruments in school. I started playing the violin in third grade. Then it kind of transitioned into drums in third grade and fourth grade. By the time I got to high school, I was in marching band and musical orchestra, and just just always surrounded by music. And I think I was always drawn to like rhythm and creation. So I think no matter what, I would have found my way to music in some shape or form. Um, and once I got out of like high school, I kind of had to find like independent ways that I could access music and creativity because school kind of like spoon feeds that to you. You can join a club, you can join a group, you could do certain things that kind of always scratch that itch for you. After you graduate, you kind of have to either be tapped into something or have some motion going for an idea, for you to still consistently be working on creative projects. And it makes sense, like for you to be investing in studio time and like buying studio equipment or, trying to actually create and publish music on the next level. So I was always drawn to music. And I think intrinsically, just the kind of person that I am, I will always like enjoy doing something creative that I can also control.
Who would you say are some of your musical influences?
Production wise, like making beats, Pharrell, uh, Missy Elliott, Timbaland. I love drums. I love patterning, but I'm also really big on like instrumentation and feeling. So Kanye too. Uh, Travis Scott for sure. I like dark synth and I like big 808s. Like creating feeling within production. Um, but then also there's like some like my musical background also gives me like that appreciation for like live instruments and for creation. So I would even say like Broadway and just like musical stuff. Like it makes my music feel more cinematic or almost like more like a story instead of it just being like a song. Um, so yeah, a variety of influences I can pull from, and then also just myself. Like I'm self-taught in a lot of ways. So there are rules that I naturally break to create that some people may not consider if they're formally trained or taught. And they're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, because I don't give a fuck, like, and then it ends up being like a cool idea. So, sometimes you got to break rules within art to kind of find innovation. Damn, that was poetic, Loki. I'm gonna put that on a shirt. But yeah, you gotta you gotta break rules to kind of figure out where, there's like spot for creativity and originality.
Okay. How did you come up with the name BrothaMans?
Shout the bum from high school, Simone Rainey. She threw her whole ass government out there. Fuck it. Um, she used to call me Mans in high school, and she was the only person. My real name is Manny. I won't give my full government. My real name is Manny. And in high school, she was the only person who would call me Mans, and she was like, "Yo, Mans, yo, Mans." I'm like, I love that nickname. Like that, I think I need that to stick. Like I need that to be something. So after I graduated, um, uh, I started making poetry and doing poetry slams, I was working at a camp counselor school, I'm an education major at the time in high school, in college, and I was working at this program, and they were already calling me Brother Manny, instead of like Mr. Walker or whatever, right? So I just kind of shortened that and was like, if I throw that man's in there, that might scratch that itch for me again. So I had the man's, and I just wanted to be relatable to everybody. So I was like, I'm gonna say brother instead of brother, So it's just like kind of like kind of catchy. So I said brother man's, capital M, capital B, just to kind of like make it seem like it's like two names, but to kind of put together as one. So yeah, want to be relatable, and also want to still have my core personality associated with it.
What are poetry slams? What is that?
A poetry slam is like an open mic or a space where it's more so it almost feels like freestyle rap, but it's like acapella poetry that is very emotionally descriptive and passionately driven. And it can be about anything. It can be about nothing, and you just found creative ways to put words together, or it could be about therapeutic release that you kind of just need to express in an open space. I've embedded my own personal traumas and my own personal experiences into my art and expressed it at open mics, and it's definitely helped me find my peace and my value with understanding myself and like just kind of being a bigger person. So open mics and poetry slams are really like cipher circles, but then they're also like performance showcases for poets and people who just are comfortable with expressing like lyrics and prose. Like, because I mean, sometimes people come through and they'll do like an acapella, they'll just sing a song without any lyrics, and that's still poetry because like lyrics are poetry. But then some people will come through and they'll do like a whole organized poem that has like a structure and you're following it and the words tell you a story and the rhymes is doing different things, like it's a whole big ass production. And then the better the personality or the more creative the flow, the more engaging the show is, because like people are snapping and clapping, or they relate to certain things that people say, or sometimes people may even have like a catchphrase or like a built-in slogan that they embed in their shit, and then like the crowd will hear it and they'll say it with them, like that what I was saying before. You're like, oh shit, that's crazy. But like you keep kind of it's like it's crowd engagement, and it's definitely like if I'm being honest with you, it roots back to like African culture where like we always express in circles, and we always like have like performances as far as like rituals for celebration, and that just translates over time into parties and performances, and now people just use it for showcase.
Cool. Well, let's see here. Okay. You have Man-Made Studios. When did you start that?
EST 2019, boy. Started Man-Made Studios in 2019 as honestly as a fan page for my music. I really wanted to just be able to comment, support, repost stuff that was going on. And a small tip for other artists is anytime that you have outside promotion for your own stuff, it's just a credibility factor. So like if you're trying to get verified, or you're trying to like express to other people like the value of it, you're like, oh yeah, this blog page, you post my music all the time. Like even if you created it, it's your fan page. If it's not coming directly from you, it just adds that additional value to the brand. So that's what I was trying to do at Man-Made Studios. Somebody had reached out about the content I was creating to promote myself and was like, oh, can you do that for me? And before then, I hadn't thought about it as a business. I just thought about it as, this is just what I'm doing to, promote BrothaMans. Shout out to Brody Casanova. We're still very close. I'm super connected now, like one of my best friends in this whole music shit. But he had reached out, asked for a music video. We did a music video, and it just snowballed into some whole other shit. Like I started taking sessions. I started, recording other people's music. I started doing music videos and photography, and it just always like an interconnected, like, small community that was built. And this is in 2020 during the pandemic. So like, it's like there ain't shit else to do besides go to the jobs that we're allowed to, go to with a mask on, or start a fucking business, So I started a business, but I didn't do the PPP shit, So my shit's legit. It's LLC. Didn't try to get the scary loans, and I'm just rocking out, kind of having fun with it. Then like now to see it have grown into something more, I'm doing like 10-hour sessions. Like literally last night I did a 10-hour session down at the studio. Um, and I got home and crashed, of course, but it's just good to see like that the community has now grown into something that people see as accessible, it's affordable. I'm making a profit, they're making good music, they're getting a quality standard that they can, perform with, and they have somewhere where they can feel like they're at home and create their art. So like something that I created for myself eventually became something for the community, but it's still like a selective space.
10-hour session. I used to walk out of the studio at 8 hours, and I would be like a zombie.
Bruh, I was a shell of myself this morning, but all I needed was a little bit of coffee and a nap, and I'm back. But no, it was fun. It was fun. Got a lot of music done and recorded. And the artist who had came through, his name was Triple Dub. He runs a music. Honestly, it's like an artist development agency called 3200 Enterprise. And he had booked about 10-hour block just so he could bring some artists through who wanted to collaborate, talk about music marketing, be in the same space, share some ideas, and also get some music knocked out.
Okay, let's talk about a couple of your songs on your new album, Chapter 2. Okay, the first one is Pint Size, and it got a really fun vibe. You like say, I like them pint size, around 5'5", down for whatever. And there's a really cool thing that you did, like from the middle to the end, where you like pan the vocals from left to right, back and forth. That's really cool. Can you tell me a little bit about that and how that came together?
Ha! Yo, I love when people, honestly, first, man, I love when people pick up on the small details, because that's why I love engineering. It's like you can create a moment for somebody, and everybody may not pick up on it, but the few who do, that thank you so much, man. That's an extra 10 minutes right there, that and mixing that, maybe everybody may not appreciate, but you picked up on that. Thank you.
Yeah, can you tell me a little bit about that song?
Yeah, so Pint Size is really supposed to be like the relatable melodic love song on there, really. Blue Skies kind of taps into that energy a little bit, but Pint Size definitely is supposed to be the one where it's like, all right, it's date night. How are you showing up as a person? How do you, invest in your energy? Like for me, my love languages are quality time, acts of service, just being like, invested in the space if we're going to be doing that. And I feel like Pint Size is really kind of like it's like a brochure slash blueprint of my own personal preferences, but they're not finite, right? So if I'm being real with you, when I first made this song, I was like, I feel bad because like I don't want to make anybody who's over 5'5" feel bad. Like I don't want to date them. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying a body type or a specific thing is more preferable, but I am saying like it's good to go into dating spaces knowing how you show up and knowing what you want, knowing what you provide. So I'm speaking on me being a provider. I'm taking you out for wings. I'm taking you out to have fun. I'm going to uplift you and shit. But I'm also saying what I need. Like I need you to be these ways. Like I'm saying like in this specific instance. So the song, I feel like hopefully it provides a platform for people to first vibe out to like some lovey-dovey shit, but then also to connect with what it is they are looking for and what they bring to the table, because we don't be thinking about that on a relationship aspect. Like don't just hop into a space without knowing what it is that you fucking bring, because now you're just being a fucking sponge, and who the fuck wants a sponge?
I don't want to wait in vain. I don't want to wait in vain. Check, fast forward. Look, cool summer, I'm a cool stunner. Feeling the real vibe, we gotta make it live. Shorty fine, I like her pint size, around 5'5", but she down for whatever. Tryna
Okay. You mentioned the next song, Blue Skies. It's kind of like a laid back vibe, and you say blue skies, good times, heat waves, sunshine. It's kind of like a positive, uplifting song too.
Blue Skies was put on there to kind of balance out some of the aggressive energy that can come from hip hop, just to kind of like keep things digestible, and like to kind of also show reference that rap is not just aggressive. You can still find ways to execute delivery and conviction without necessarily having it to be about a theme of negativity. So you'll see there's like songs on the album that have ambition and positivity kind of rooted into it with aggression, and then there's songs that have ambition and positivity rooted into it with peace and vibe, because that's really how I am. Like, there's a duality to my personality. I'm aggressive and I'm hype and I'm from the hood and I'm from the get and I'm not with that shit. But then I'm also like a lover and I'm also a son and I'm also an educator. So I have passion and empathy. So I'm not just one way, and I never want my music to be digested in just one way either.
Yeah, and I noticed like at the beginning you like drop the music out and then you sing a couple lines there. Like I like that, like to mix it up and change up the dynamics a little bit.
No, yeah, and a lot of that comes from like picking up on small nuances in my favorite songs that I would like to be able to try to execute myself. Like, okay, pull the drums and just rock out with the melody real quick, or throw this low pass filter and kind of give it like that like nostalgic feel, or even throw a filter on your vocal to kind of give it an intentional distortion and see how dirty that the lyrics can actually feel with like some texture on it. All of these things, they add to it, and like at this point in engineering and producing, I look at it the same way an artist looks at painting. Like, you got to create an escape. You got to, have a foundation and a base and know where you want the image to go, but also being free with how you want to use the medium. And I'm getting very, very comfortable with the medium of plugins and sound and balance and just dynamic and how to use different things in a certain way. There's ideas that don't work and that don't stick the same way, but then also you got to be comfortable with trying stuff and also, being associated with your experiment, because experimenting may not always work right now. It might work later, or it might need to be found later.
Blue skies, blue skies. Peace is what I'm looking for. Searching high and low, digitizing inner flow. This is how my circuit grow. I just gotta set the code. Then it's adios. Optics always watching close. I don't got no ops, but niggas plotting shift like dominoes. Operate on peace, but please don't try and disrespect me, bro. Me and all my kinfolk ain't no joke. We step together, yo. Step together, yo. Step. All we make is music, baby. We don't wanna hurt nobody. Positive to energy. I got love for everybody. All I know is peace and love. Sometimes I be a goofy nigga. I'm the only one. Do not try to group me, nigga. Blue skies, good times, heat waves, sunshine. Got a lifetime. You can get it right, but right now it's blue skies, blue skies, it's blue skies.
There's two different ways you can answer this. It's as a producer and as an artist. When do you know a song is finished?
You know, you never know when a song is done. And if I'm being real with you, some of my best songs, I still sing additional parts and melodies and shit that I didn't record in the original part. I damn near sing them differently than the performances. I got some songs that the live arrangements that I've created for them aren't even in the same key, aren't even the same fucking tempo, So like, songs are never done. They're just, you present them as they are. And then if they contribute to how you're trying to brand yourself at that time, rock out. But for me, when I'm creating, I usually have an idea of where I want things that I want to attack and how I want those things to get hit, and I never force. So when I feel like I've got too many layers, or if I feel like you're hearing too many um themes or motifs too many times, because like less is really more in music. Like sometimes you kind of want a thing to be rare, so that way people have to go to that moment to go get it. That's why old music was so great, because I mean, they're doing live takes, and a drummer might do a different thing one time, or a singer might do a specific hook a different way a little bit, and everybody knows it, and they all do that one little part right there. It's like that. that intentionality and also the authenticity of it is what makes music feel good. So it's never done. It's just you kind of find a way to make it the best it could be in that moment. Because you could come back the next day to a fully finished track and still hear chords you could add to it. You could still hear percussion that could be done or ways that it can get mixed differently. Because you got different ears on it. You went to sleep, came back, and now your brain hears the whole idea and what else it can be. So no, it's never done. But you got to find comfort in letting it be finished.
Yeah, like it's constantly evolving, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. As far as like collaborations, do you do a lot of them, and what makes you decide if you're going to do it or not?
Yeah, I did a collaboration last night. It honestly just comes down to if the music slash execution aligns with my branding, or if what I'm bringing to it elevates slash contributes to the song in a positive way. I never want to be somebody who's taking an unnecessary space. I learned that at a young age, step up or also step back. No presence is a present for real, for real. So everything ain't gonna be for you. Ways that I determine if I want to do it. Do I like the beat? Can I hear myself on it? And then if I can find a way for me to stand out in this space without distracting the overall execution. You feel me? Because I mean, yeah, you could body somebody on their song. That's easy because for you don't have as much investment in it, so you're probably gonna go into it having more fun. But for me, I more so try to go into shit on a supportive aspect. So I might use a little bit of your cadence and your delivery in my execution and then build off of that. I might use a word that you used and then, kind of play with that a little bit in my own tone. So that way we're still on the same page. You never want to take away from somebody's idea. So, that's one aspect of it. And then, for example, like last night, this artist who came through for the 10-hour session, he's recording a song and he's talking about, I want this song to be about Pittsburgh and Wilkesburg slang. I'm from Wilkesburg, so I'm born and raised. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know that. I'm from Wilkesburg, bro. So immediately I'm like, you gotta throw me on this shit. Like, yeah, we already have, but we both rap differently and have different backgrounds of how we approach hip hop. So the blend that we ended up creating was really like a really creative way to express all of the things that Wilkesburg has to offer and what our neighborhood's been for us. But two different stories, I love that. So creation and collaboration I never try to limit it, but I always try to make sure that it aligns with what I'm trying to express.
That was cool. I need to check out that song when it comes out.
Oh yeah, if you want to, definitely DM me your email. I'll send you the rough mix right now.
Oh, cool. Thanks. Um, what is your plans for 2025 here?
2025. So things that are pretty much locked in somewhat. I can't say exactly what show yet. So I just finished a musical up. It was called Sanctified, written by Javon Johnson, done by the Pittsburgh Playwrights Theater Company. Shout to them. They casted me as Jamal. It was a show about a church that was doing a revival, and they experienced a whole bunch of just ups and downs. There's love interest with my sister, and she finds a guy, and then there's a pastor. There's a new church pastor and an old church pastor who they're both battling for control. So a bunch of different ideas, and we all kind of found a way to come together and learn something from each other at the end. And I'll say like that show really challenged me because I wasn't expecting myself to be in a musical. When they hit me up, they just said they needed a rapper. I didn't know I was going to have lines. I didn't know I was going to have block and everything. And I do have a background in musical theater, so I've done shows and I've done plays before when I was a kid. But this is my first production as an adult. 27 now. So last time I was in like an actual show in theater I was like 13 or 14. So we're talking about 13 years removed from being in that space. Now I've been using those skill sets as a performer as BrothaMans, but I thought they were hiring BrothaMans and they were actually hiring Manny Walker. So that kind of reignited something into me that it gave me another appreciation for it. So acting is something that's coming up this year. I did get booked from something from that show. I can't say exactly what that show is going to be, but it will be an August Wilson play, and that'll be done in August. So I'm excited to be back on stage for that. It'll be my first August Wilson production, and that's really the only reason that I said yeah to it was because August Wilson is such a pivotal piece of Pittsburgh art and culture. And to have him be a part of my creative resume is an honor and a blessing. And I would never want to deny the opportunity, because there are people who would beg to be in position to, access that opportunity. So taking advantage of that. On the music side, I'm pushing the hell out of the album this year. Chapter 2, I'm on day 65 of just consistently posting it every day and trying to just get eyes on it. The goal is 100,000 streams or 1,000,000 streams or however many fuck streams people listen to it. I don't care. I just want a lot of people to find it and find value in it. I'm also working on a collaborative album with my cousin Marcus, Dewey Marquis. We're in a rap group together called Kimfolk. Y'all can follow us on Instagram at PGH Kimfolk to keep up with all the updates and stuff. I'm going to be making a post today actually about some just random stuff. Yeah, we're working on Kimfolk Forever. That's going to be dropping, hopefully, if we get everything done, mixed, mastered, and recorded. We're going to be trying to drop it on New Year's Eve with a release party for New Year's. So that would be fun. I know it'll be like a rough time to try to get people out. We'll have to start promoting that way ahead of time. It's a big ask to have people come out on that day in that space just for an album. But hey, you know what? Sometimes you got to take a risk and do it. And I know that there'll be family and friends who will support it, who want to be in the space, who know that I've put together good festivals in the past and I can pick a good venue. So all of those things contribute to a good performance and a good event. So I'm banking on that for real. And then finally, just kind of being open to collaboration and singles. I'm not putting out another project as BrothaMans this year, but I am putting out the Kinfolk Forever. But I am also in the process of recording and mixing and mastering Chapter 3. That's going to drop sometime next year. And Chapter 3 is going to be like all R&B. So the first one, Chapter 1, was all like alternative joints, kind of in between, like, just creative ideas to express who BrothaMans is. Chapter 2 is all hip hop. Chapter 3 is all R&B.
Cool. Now, you were talking about the festivals. You have that Man-Made Festival. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Man-Made Fest stems from a competition at Level Up Studios. Shout to them. Shout to Mario. I'm holding things down over at Level Up, keeping the lights on. Love that, man. Yeah, they had a competition a few years ago. I got second place in it. Second place means that you get a festival later on that summer. They called my festival Man-Made Fest. It did really great ticket-wise. We got a lot of good performers in that lineup. I kind of curated things a certain way. We got a good turnout, and then they wanted to bring it back next year without the competition. They was like, hey, do you want to just do another Man-Made Fest? I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we did it there. They ended up having some marketing and some management changes, and that led to me wanting to, just pivot, and kind of embrace my own idea, because I was always going to have my own festival. I mean, whether they gifted me it or not, I was still planning one. It was just about finding a space to do it. So once we got to year 3, which was this past year, we shifted things over down to Mr. Small's Funhouse. Got us a little bit bigger stage, a little bit better venue outside. Got a new DJ. Shout out to my boy Vance Vaughn, who actually produced Pint Size, and is a close friend of mine. And we just rocked out and had a good time. Record ticket sales, record attendance, for my own personal stuff. And I was really grateful for how the city turned out and how the artists turned out. We had a great lineup. People performed. People got great content. There was collaborations that were made. All the artists got paid. Just value. It was just a valuable networking space. Wasn't no fights. Wasn't no issues. Everybody got home safe. We had an after party around the corner at the Poetry Lounge. So I was just really grateful for how much support I got for my idea and how much respect. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes people can come to some shit and fuck it up and really not respect your idea and make it about themselves. There was so much respect that people gave me that let me know they see me as a credible resource in this market, but then they also see the value in what I'm trying to create for them. Just that's the best way I could put it, black and white. Like, respect is that's the best way you could pay somebody, and then also making a profit off of that idea was valuable too.
How do you pick the lineup? Or is it like artists that have recorded in your studio? Is it your friends? How do you go about doing that?
Um, So it's like a 3-part series. The first wave, I know who personally I want to have in a show. There are finite people who are always going to be in the show. Dewey Marquis, Brody Casanova are always going to be a part of it. They're my brothers. I came up in the music industry in this game with them. They were a big part of, just like a lot of the creative execution and ideas that I came up with. and we're feeling confident enough to do. So they'll always be in the lineup. Then the next wave is there's an intermediate circle of people who I know are talented and can execute things. And I just kind of base off of, okay, who got new music, who have I seen a few times, who haven't I seen, and then who have I checked in with just on a personal level. So like that's an artist community. And then the third level is I keep it open on artist submission. So there is a link that I create for you to submit your music. I'm the person reviewing it, so there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then I'm the person also telling you if you're going to be in it or if you're not. I've had to say yes, I've had to say no. And I'm very comfortable finding a respectful way to say both. There's a copy paste message that I create if you're accepted into it. I just change the name, boom, you're in. And then I also change what your set will be because everybody not getting the same shit. You know, some people might be a 5-minute motherfucker. Some people might be a 15-minute motherfucker. Like that's just how music and art is. So the variety and then the respect that people have with accepting that also adds to the show because it creates a reality and it creates a level of honesty in the show. Like people see, oh, this person got 15 minutes. I wonder why. Well, it's because they perform their music well and they got good sets and they got good crowd energy and they bring people out. And you have maybe one good song and you've been performing for the last 3 years. So yeah, I'm not going to give you 10 minutes because you might not have 10 minutes, you know, right? So there's a lot of honesty and reality in it, but making sure that I give everybody equal opportunity. That like access to the space is really what sets it apart. And I'm never expecting artists to pay for a damn thing. And then another aspect of it is this is my fucking event, so I don't expect the artist to promote. All I want you to do is have a solid ass outfit, brand yourself well that night, show up rehearsed, ready to go, and show out. If you don't have to worry about promotion, you don't got to worry about ticket sales. You know you're getting paid for being here. What else? Like that's simple. You get there, there's gonna be drinks in the green room for you. Like I want you to feel like this was easy access. All you had to do was show up, sing, and then connect with people. And if you create that space for artists, they kind of embrace it differently. So there are people who are going hard. They were bringing out features. They had, you know what I'm saying, prepared whole choreography sets and stuff. I'm like, see, this is the shit I'm talking about. When you invest in people, they invest in you. You know what I'm saying? So I offset a lot of the work that people give with shows. They're like, oh yeah, y'all better get ticket sales, y'all got da-da-da-da, or y'all got to pay me da-da-da, and I'll make you this off of the door. Fuck that, bro. Here's $25. Do me a $10, or do me a 10-minute set. Go crazy. Go crazy. And if it costs you extra to get here, let me know. I'll send you extra little $5 for the gas money. Like I got you. We're good. You know, try to create a established rapport and open door policy for real with artistry, promotion, events, and production. If all of those doors are open together, we can get a whole lot of shit done real easy.
I'm gonna ask you a question off topic here. Do you see roadblocks in the music industry in Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I would say like one roadblock sometimes is ego. And it can, and not ego in only the sense of like thinking about yourself, but ego in the sense of like not knowing how to navigate things socially or not knowing how to create, collaborative spaces. Because that's a good way to get shit done too. I got people who I barter with who've never paid me a single dime. We've been working on shit for years. Years. You know what I'm saying? So like adding value to each other is a way to grow. So that's one aspect of it. Ego kind of gets in the way. Access to quality and resource is another one. Sometimes we get comfortable and we are okay with what works. And I had to kind of get out of it myself, for the first 2 or 3 years of me being a producer and mixer, or I mean, producer and engineer. I was settling for B minus work, and I was like, all right, yeah, it's good enough. No, fuck good enough. Is it great yet? Like, is it great, or could it be great? What does it need to be great? Ask somebody what it needs to be great, because good's not getting you what you need, and you're wondering why it's just not happening. Because you're not great. Sorry, great people get what they want. Good people are good. So that's another thing is access to quality and resource, and then I think the third thing that kind of gets in the way is, I guess maybe like procedure, like knowing how to, and like there isn't a right way for anything, but there's probably a best practice for you, and if you don't test out other ideas, you don't try them, you'll never really know.
How do we get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at BrothaMans7, BrothaMans 7. Or you can follow the studio page at Man-Made Studios LLC, all one word, like MAN, or yeah, MANMADE Studios LLC. On Instagram, and then on Facebook it's just Manny Walker and BrothaMans.
Okay. That's all the questions I have. Thanks for coming on the show today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, man, thank you so much for having me, bro. I appreciate the questions, and I appreciate you kind of like diving into the music and having like some specific detail and production aspects to discuss. That was like probably my favorite part because every engineer loves to discuss that stuff, man. Even, if I can even talk about the plugins, that shit about it, how to make that stuff happen, I would. So I appreciate you.
I'm a cool stunner, feeling the real vibe. We gotta make it laugh. Shorty fine, I like them pint size. Around 5'5", but she down for whatever. I don't want to wait in vain for your love. I said, baby, what's your name? Can we hang out? What's the game? Let me order us some wings so we can make it bang. Real love, real shit. All I know is realness. You been really on my mind. What be on the real bitch? You a gem to the 10, recommend. I wear my heart on my sleeve, but I guess I gotta reel it in. You like a best friend, my little 20 twin. You know we going in and the booty going up. Cool summer, I'm a cool stunner, feeling the real vibe. We gotta make it laugh. She fine, I'm like I'm pint size, around 5'5", but she down for what